Well, Don, do you have anything else that you want to bring up before we head out this evening and get ready for a short prep week against Maryland?
Well, I think we have to we have to. I know it's not easy to be patient, but we have to show some patience with our offensive line. It's a hard job. It's there's one reason you don't see a lot of 4-year starters in the offensive line. There's a lot to learn, and as we talked about already, you got to get bigger, faster, stronger. If you're the average guy, you're not really physically capable of playing very well at a young age. So right now, we're not exactly killing people with our O line play, but certainly their heads are in the right place. They're working to get better, just as just as the strength of our defense, you could argue, is our secondary and our linebacker core and the depth in our defensive line. One of our obvious weaknesses is inexperience in the offensive line. We don't have a lot of seasoned veterans in there, and we're going to have a few growing pains. So what can you do? Well, you can simplify assignments as best you can. And of course, you can try to avoid putting them in difficult spots. Difficult spot, as an example, 3rd and long, especially if our tackles have to go against really good outside rushers. I don't know what Maryland might have coming off the edge, but in general, of course, our tackles are going to be challenged, pretty stiff challenge on any game day with edge rushers off any team. Because most teams do have good edge rushers. They make it a point of trying to find 2 guys that can do that and do it effectively. And the best thing we can do to avoid all that, we talked about it against Iowa State. One of the smartest things we did against Iowa State, we were struggling to protect on 3rd and long. So part of our solution was throw the ball in for early downs. And we didn't get into as many 3rd and longs at that point. And of course, we weren't running the ball that well on early downs anyway. That's one reason you saw us decide to go up and over early in the game a few times, because we weren't that productive running our base offense.
Yeah.
So let's get a little bit out of, I say extreme times calls for extreme measures sometimes, and kind of extreme to think we might throw the ball downfield 3 or 4 times. But I remember what Coach Fry used to tell us about Lee Corso and Bobby Bowden in particular. We get ready to play Indiana, and he told Bill, he said, "Bill, I know Lee Corso. He's going to throw it deep at least half a dozen times.
Right.
He'll do it against us. He'll do it against everybody." Bobby Bowden was the same way. I think their thought process, if we hit 1 out of 3, it's worth it, because those 2 that they hit, if they throw it deep 6 times, those 2 plays are worth 100 yards. And today they were worth, 92 for us?
Yeah.
So that's a good example.
And I was very impressed with Keegan Johnson, Don. I really was. I mean, he came in there and made 2 really, really big catches.
Yeah, I think he's made a positive name for himself. Next week, obviously, Maryland's thinking, I better respect this. He got on top of Colorado State, so I better not underestimate his speed. I better gauge his speed here early in the first half, and I better play a little bit on the conservative side. Maybe he'll beat me with some underneath routes, but I am not going to let him get on top of me like he did last weekend.
Absolutely.
That's just smart football on the part of Maryland if they do that.
Want to throw a shout out to the kind comments of Doug Phelps. Appreciate you being here for the show this evening. Corn and Cattle, same thing. And I love the comment here from Charles Pinster. He reminds us that Don Patterson is the GOAT. So
Charles, you're very kind, and next time you're in Iowa City, I'm pretty sure I must owe you lunch.
There you go. And I appreciate the compliment from Ray as well. And Yakov22 reminds us Ohio State is still Ohio State. They're up 35-7 now on Akron. So I would think it's safe to say that game is a wrap. Don, let's make this show a wrap. I appreciate the time as always. Hopefully our listeners did as well. I think they did. I always do. I always love listening to your insight. And again, next week's a short prep week, Don, and it's against a very explosive offense in Maryland. The battle of 2 undefeated teams next Friday, 7 o'clock on FS1. So, Don, I know you got some work to do giving Kirk some analytics this week, so we appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon.